Hi guys, Mr. Tao here for you. Wanted to make a little quick video giving you a rundown of how we're going to do this assignment. We're going to do a little current events tie-in with this assignment, looking at the 100 most influential people from the year 2020, because I know you want to relive that year. We're also going to be really focusing on the skills of sourcing evidence. And so one of the big historical thinking skills in AP World History is your ability to not only identify the point of view of a source, but then get to how that's significant and how it maybe affects the content of the source itself. And so we have this acronym we use to remember kind of stuff when we're thinking about the point of view or perspective of an author or an artist or whatever, and that's CORNPEG. And so CORNPEG is all different things that could tell us about the perspective or point of view of someone that made something. Could be their class, thinking, are they rich, are they poor, noble, slave, that kind of thing, especially in these societies that are more hierarchical. Occupation, what job do they have? A general is going to have a different perspective than a soldier. Religion, there's a lot of sectarian divisions, and that can affect the perspective. We think about monks in the 800s and their view of, non-Christian invaders like the Vikings, referring to them as heathens. We talked about how that can influence what they do. So that can be part of the perspective. Nationality, especially when we get into the areas of colonialism and stuff, that's going to be really, really significant. Political position. So this could be their role in the government. It could be the side of the political issue they're on. That can affect, the things people are choosing to highlight, the things people are choosing to leave out. Often people are trying to make things that they want happen, and the things they create can push those ideologies. Ethnic group, majority and minorities could have very different experiences. People facing discrimination, people benefiting from the discrimination, that can affect their view, especially in more segregated societies, can be really important. And then gender. Throughout history, we're usually looking at a lot of patriarchies. Gender roles are going to be a significant part here and are going to affect the way people view things. So those are all the kind of things you want to think about when you're evaluating a source. Now, you don't got to think about every single one of these. Some are going to be more significant than others. So what we're going to look at here, I've provided you a link to the 100 most influential people from 2020, according to the people at Time Magazine. Well, I want you to learn a little bit about who some of these influential people were. What we're more going to look at is who the creators or who the authors are. So there's just 100 people. There's 100 profiles that have been written, but they were written by 100 different authors, and we care more about the author than the profile. So as weird as this is to say, for this assignment, we care more about Derek Jeter than we do about Patrick Mahomes. Now, the one I'm going to choose to do an example of here is this Claire Babineau, and I'm more worried about and more thinking about Rachel Ray. So kind of how this is going to work, you're going to pick 3 of the 4 people, and you're going to do one across each year. You're going to notice the person profile goes on the right in the green, and the author goes on the left. So in my example, Rachel Ray, the author is going to go on the left. The person she profiled, Claire, is going to go on the right. A couple of pictures just to make it look nice, but also might help you think about some of these CORNPEG things. And we're just going to kind of fill it out as you see across. Remember, we're doing CORNPEG for the author, not for the person they're writing about. Sometimes they're going to have something in common. A lot of times they will. And that's kind of what I want you to pick up on. Why did Time pick this person to write the profile? Why would this person have a connection and a certain perspective, point of view that would help enhance the profile that's being written? Again, they're going to usually have some pretty similar ideologies. And so that's going to be something you're going to kind of hopefully pick up in with the writing. So for our example, again, I just clicked on the Claire Babineau one. It's written by Rachel Ray. And then I want to laterally read about Rachel Ray. So obviously you can just type into Google, but fun fact, if you highlight it and right click on it, you'll see the option that kind of pops up. A lot of different websites. I'm going to use every student's favorite friend. That's going to be Wikipedia. So by the time I've gotten to this point, I've read the profile about Claire. And the reason I've done that is they're fairly short. And I just want you to like kind of try and figure out, okay, what does Rachel Ray and Claire, what do they have in common? So the first thing, obviously, I want to pick up, okay, they're both female, so that could be a connection. Um, I pick up, okay, from Wikipedia, okay, so Rachel Ray's American. I don't know if that's the biggest, most important thing, but I read okay, Claire's involved in this Feeding America charity. Okay, I'm seeing Rachel Ray's a chef and involved in helping, feed and does some charity work. That occupation is going to be a big one. But I chose to pick out just so I could hit 3 letters: gender, class, and occupation. And I think the most important one is probably occupation. That's the closest connection Rachel and Claire have to each other. So this is kind of what I wrote. I'll let you kind of read through it as you want. Just notice, again, author and CORNPEG information is on the authors on the left. And sometimes, it could be kind of brief. Person profiles on the right. And then so I'm saying, okay, so Ray's a female chef, and she's going to might have some similar experiences to another female in the food industry. Her occupation as a chef and philanthropist says, she's probably going to understand some of the supply chain demands, dealing with, helping to feed the hungry. And then also, again, she has firsthand experience, Rachel Ray does, working with Claire's Feeding America charity. So that maybe improves the credibility of the source. So that's kind of how we can use CORNPEG to do this. You'll notice that I highlighted the 3 letters that I connected. Again, I'm not doing all of CORNPEG for this. So now I would want to, if I was a student, I would have 2 or 3 more to go profiles. I want to pick out some different letters throughout each of them. Again, try and find ones that, that letter is significant to. So people that have a similar religious base to, or a similar ethnic base to, or a similar political view to, or nationality. Try and make those strong connections. Again, you're trying to show your mastery of this CORNPEG assignment. Do your best. If you got questions, always reach out to me. Have a wonderful day.